Okay, good job.
All right.
We are here and we are real.
I gotta shade over this one just a little bit because I want to drop off. Come a little closer. We're both ill.
I argue with you on that point.
You're not ill?
I don't really get your human diseases, so I don't know what this is.
Oh, okay. Thanks for putting on a good face for the show.
No problem.
Oh, look, you got the hop in your camera. Let's go. That's cool.
I know. I made some adjustments to make sure it was right there. I love that thing.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
Okay. Today is Monday.
It is.
The 15th. This will record and air on Wednesday, the 17th.
17th. Yeah. My wedding anniversary is tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow all day, honestly. Is that good?
Nope, doesn't count. We didn't take our vows yet.
Yeah, so I have some work to do on that, I guess. God.
Yeah. Mine occurred when Brenda was in town and sick, and then I left, and I came back sick, and now she's in Las Vegas. So, and I had originally planned on maybe driving up there yesterday.
To Vegas?
Well, to Kingman and Lake Havasu, shooting up a day with the dog. But the hotel she's staying at will accept two 25-pound dogs, but not one 40-pound dog. And it just got complicated from there. It would have been fun.
Speaking of traveling with dogs, we're traveling with our dog next weekend.
Right on.
You too.
Yes, I am.
So much travel going on.
That's so we
That's the future.
Las Vegas, and then we would come back and then stay in Flagstaff and get our business done in Flagstaff for Andrew Bauman.
Hey, Rob.
I guess we're starting.
Hey, sounds good.
So we're just back from the CBC, and we brought some gifts to each other. Some sort of bug.
There's a few people who are being reported as having a little cold.
Exactly. And it's not COVID.
That's what I've heard.
But everyone's calling it the CBC 19.
CBC 19. It will forever be known as that, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, you get, 10, 15,000 people in close proximity, staying out to all hours of the night, reducing their immunization.
Packing people into bars next to each other constantly.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Which also explains.
Yeah.
Hello. I know it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Generally, when we record at 3 in the afternoon, we'd have a crisp, cold beer.
We don't know what the drug interactions would be.
With Dayquil, and you should not. It's got ibuprofen. It's got acetaminophen. You should not have.
Yeah. And as I was explaining, Dayquil is like session NyQuil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know that they actually have a product now based on NyQuil that is just strictly to put you to sleep?
ZQuil.
That's just crazy.
It's called ZQuil. It's just put you to sleep.
Yeah. What if we just came out with like, yeah, you got your session IPA, you got IPA, and like, here, this is just the alcohol. Put this hop in your mouth and drink this alcohol.
What is it? Now I need to know what ZQuil is made from. Like, is it just diphenhydramine, Benadryl that you fall asleep?
I didn't silence my phone.
Is that what it is?
I have no idea. I'm not the FDA.
I have to look it up when I get done.
All right. So we
Point being,
we left on a Sunday. We left the show on a Sunday.
Last time we chatted,
It was
on Mike. It was Sunday morning.
yeah.
Then we had a whole Sunday night, a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, even part of a Thursday.
Right.
Very little part.
So the official, I don't know, reception, for
The welcome reception
CBC.
for the Craft Brewers Conference
Something
put on
I-
by the Brewers Association.
something I look forward to because that's your gathering point, and that's when I run into people I'm not normally going to see. And I didn't see a lot of people that I normally see this conference because our sessions were limited to one room over a course of a couple of days, and that's all I did. So I didn't get to see a lot of people from breweries, our breweries, or other breweries. So I do. That's the value of it. Like, it's it can kind of be a crowded mess sometimes, but we didn't have that because it rained.
There was no welcome reception because it was really seriously raining. Yeah.
But Taylor Swift went on.
She went on at 10:30 at night
Yeah.
and played until 2 a.m.
Right.
I did not attend that. It was too much.
Yeah.
I was Taylor Swift out.
Yeah. I don't.
I was in Taylor Swift overload. I couldn't take any more, honestly.
Well, you got get it all out of you this year.
Yep.
There's always next year. And she put out an album like every 3 years or something like that. 2 years.
Well, now she's putting out like 3 a year because she's redoing her old stuff. But let's not get into it. That's not the point of this podcast. This is not a podcast
About Taylor Swift.
about Taylor Swift. It's a podcast about beer.
Okay. So we didn't get to do that on Sunday. We went to, I'm going to always get this wrong.
Fate LaForce.
Fate LaForce, which means united in strength. I understand.
Very good.
Very small brewery, 5 barrel, I think.
All I know is it was very small.
We cleaned them out.
They were out of beer.
Luckily, they had other events where they were bringing beers from Nashville. So that was good.
We had a beers for everyone
Yes.
that evening. Yeah.
Yeah. We went there, got together some of our guild people. We found a place that was relatively empty.
Yeah.
Ernest.
Had almost no one there. It was wild.
Yeah. Sat at a big table, ate some great food.
Awesome.
Yeah. They had an art gallery in there. I don't know if you went to the bathroom and just kind of kept walking. There was
No,
I did.
I didn't keep walking.
I don't know. There wasn't anything worth taking a picture for, per se. But yeah, we did that. That was Monday.
Yeah, that was Sunday, and after that went right home. I went right home. I was ready for bed.
That was Sunday?
That was Sunday.
Why am I missing a day?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I can't even look it up.
Well, let's just go on to Monday,
The next day.
the next day.
There was the general session.
See what it says right there, Sunday?
Oh, yeah. It was the general session. And that's sometimes they have 2 general sessions, and sometimes they have it's a lot longer. Like sometimes they have double.
They have one on the first day and one on the second day.
Yeah.
And this year they only had the one.
But they also sometimes have a guest, an
Yeah.
inspirational speaker
Right.
of some sort. So they double up on one day.
They decided to be less inspiring this year.
Well, maybe for good reason.
Our keynote speaker was
Bart Watson
Bart Watson, yes.
with some sobering.
the most handsome economist with the biggest brain in the world. That's the guy.
I'm laughing, but I'm not disagreeing with you.
I know. No one. If you disagreed with me, you'd be wrong. You don't want to do that.
So he had some sobering news, though, in terms of what the industry's looking like. And if you followed our show at all, you got some of this from other Bart Watson talks that I've got to see or that we've seen online, but also our own observations and our reading of the trade publications. In general, beer right now across the board, including craft beer, is flat, meaning not showing growth, not necessarily showing losses as an aggregate. But that doesn't mean there aren't opportunities. And as an individual company, you could have outstanding growth during this time of year. or quite the opposite. And I think for the purposes of just to go down a defined path, Bart outlined the difference between distribution breweries, which are clearly flat or going down. So
Yes.
larger breweries in production that is going mainly volume-wise to distributors, retailers, chain grocery, on-premise chain placements. Things are not looking all that great.
They're generally down.
Versus tap room and brew pub, which has a slight uptick.
Has a pretty significant uptick in volume, like up, 19% combined?
I didn't get that figure, so
I think that's what he said. See, here's the thing.
I just took
A slight loss in volume with a distributing brewery, production brewery, would equal about the total production of many small breweries. So a slight decline, see a decline by 4% at Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
That equals about 20 average size breweries in Arizona, right?
or more.
Yeah. So this is where you can find a large increase with taproom and pub breweries taking a 20% increase and still be overall flat, because in the volume, it is just
There are things that we do not see.
right.
And there are cases where breweries probably won't see this unless they're really looking hard for it. And they should be aware of these things because we are running into a demographic cliff coming up between boomers and Gen X and a younger crowd, the millennials, and who haven't really landed on beer and maybe are not drinking as much, not also spending as much, not also choosing their favorite pastime in terms of beverages is not a beverage. Might be marijuana, might be craft cocktails, might be something like that. So we have to pay attention to that. So you might not see a lot of this stuff as a small brew pub or small brewery owner, or a taproom brewery owner, depending on what your neighborhood is and all that stuff. But other people are, and you're going to start to see possibly people who are in traditional distribution right size and maybe put more people on the street. So you might start to get in your backyard a little bit. But as Bart said, just because there's 0% growth doesn't mean there's not opportunities or other things for growth. And to demonstrate that, he put up a slide that said that people are buying non-durable goods 2% less than they have in the past. That non-durable goods are foods, beverages, things that expire. And our spending is down on that. But personal consumption expenditures is up 4%. Mm-hmm. So people are going out, they're doing things, they're adding, they're not necessarily picking things up from the grocery store, they are going out, which explains this difference between taproom brew pub versus distribution brewery. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's some good news if you're in that space. If you're not in that space, in Arizona, you can get in that space because you can have multiple restaurants, tap rooms, franchise opportunities, and our alternating proprietorship makes it available to do a lot of different things to sort of spread your risk out if you have the resources and the wherewithal.
Bart's slide is a national overview of the entire thing. There was no breakdown on Southwest, East Coast, nothing like that.
No.
There was breakdown in the information that he could get, which is what size brewery are we talking? So that he has. But when it comes to what's happening on a more local level, Arizona's faring pretty well from the numbers that we have. I think that overall consumer spending and our distribution breweries kind of seems like that's going to be the trend, is that it's pretty well on par with national, is that they're down.
Yeah. And I found the slide that says, actually, it says 20%. If your brew pub or tap room was found later than 2018, then you saw a 20% growth in 2022. But if you were an older brew pub before that, you only saw 2%. So you can make of that what you will. I think the fans that want the new things are the ones spending that money right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
and it's kind of a generational thing too.
Yeah.
So there is a sweet spot between the combination of boomers and Gen X that are doing those things. But
I think that as is it maybe you're just, once you're in that 5 years old kind of range, you're in a groove and you're complacent. I hope not, but that could be like if you open with this model and it worked for you for 5 years and you're maintaining that model and not really changing anything up, you might not be finding new consumers. You might not be having some people that want other things coming back.
Yeah, and it could be that after all the craziness of presumably going through a lot of different things if you're older and seeing the low point of the pandemic and doing okay is okay right now. Maybe not killing yourself, trying to expand or grow for the foreseeable future might be the best move, just depending,
I disagree.
Yeah. No?
Again, with what we have in Arizona as far as like the ability to open more locations and reach new consumers, I think there's tons of opportunity. I mean, if it depends on what each individual owner wants to do, obviously.
Yeah.
They own their business. They manage it the way they want.
I guess I'm saying that growth all the time isn't something that you always need.
Oh, don't chase growth just for the point of chasing growth, for sure. I agree with that.
So the final couple of slides. Well, first of all, openings are outpacing closings still to this day, but the gap is narrowing, and in most businesses, they cancel each other out, and we have been beating the odds for decades now, and it's not realistic to believe that we won't have more closings, and someday it's going to even out, and that will be a market that has been. I don't want to use the word saturated because it's not a bad word per se, but it has found its leveling point, and it's just waiting for something new to change the entire industry. And
I wonder how those dominoes fall, like as far as locations and things like that. Like there are many states where there are so many breweries, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So do they start toppling? Or do they have a market that's mature and can handle those and other
it's
wildcatters that are out there? Oh, there's no brewery in this middle of nowhere town, so I'm going to open one.
Well, the opportunity is relative.
Yeah,
if you're from that smaller town, then opening a place and maintaining payroll and having some growth in terms of not just the bottom line profits, but expanding your skill set, and having your employees perform at a high function, retention, all those things are important. So there's no reason to. And after a cycle and after new people come and go, and people who aren't in the industry see that as an opportunity, whereas people who are in the industry is like, that's not something I want to look at right now. That's not what I find is an opportunity. So it's relative. Bart put up another slide that shows that breweries are by a lot more successful than smaller businesses. If you're watching the video, you'll see the slide. But if you're listening, there are slides, there are pictures that we put on YouTube. I wish, I'm not going to hold up any pictures of this stuff, but it shows if you're a business in 9 years, their survival rate for a 9-year-old small business is 40%. If you're a 9-year-old brewery, it's like almost 80%. which is really significant. And the gap seems to widen the more years that breweries open or versus small business. So that's encouraging, especially since most of our breweries now are what, Andrew, 7, 8 years old, like on the median brewery.
Yeah. 8.
Yeah. So it's good news for us. The thing that we could get better at is understanding new customers. I talked about the demographic cliff in terms of age, but there's also the fact that the growth rate for new consumers, for people who are of age that are not taking advantage of our products, is, as an example, Latina females of any kind of race, Asian females, by like a huge factor. That's the opportunity right now.
That is where new consumers are entering the market from that perspective. And it would be smart to design some of your marketing to appeal to those consumers rather than the ones that are already in your place. Not that you ignore them, but...
No, but start by asking why I don't see more of these people, and look at your neighborhoods, look at other places that might be attracting those folks. Ask yourself some questions. And if you are of that group and you want to let us know why some people are doing it better, we take your email and we talk about it, and we might even put you on the show if we come to a agreement about what we're going to talk about. So super important. New customers are going to be super, super important because we are losing that battle with women and people of color by a lot, almost double. Some of the other things like liquor and even seltzer are almost double what the interest in craft beer is. So, need to do better at that if we're going to thrive, if we're going to weather this flatness and move on. So,
yeah. At the conference this year, there was the inaugural meeting of the
Black Brewers Association?
Black Brewers Association, North American Black Brewers Association.
Yes.
So that's cool, which means that there's we've gone from having like 2 breweries owned by Black Americans to like 15.
It's nice.
Or more in that organization. And who knows how many don't even know that organization exists yet. So
sure. Let's take a break.
All right.
Because I think we've talked for 20 minutes.
We should cough for a minute.
Yeah, we don't have a cough button.
No.
And I need to replenish mine.
Okay.
I regret I lost my sunglasses. That's about it.
Is this coming back from the break? Are we on now? What's happening? Regrets?
Regrets. I've had a few.
Oh, hey, Rob, welcome back.
Thank you. I don't know that we pre-discussed 2 topics and then we went off on a tangent. So I don't know when I'm going to cut this off.
All right.
But I am going to test a piece of AI software that's going to help me edit better. So maybe we'll let the AI decide what's relevant.
Where it starts. Oh,
Where it
God.
ends. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the beginning of Monday.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay. So we talked about the thing, and now we're to the rest of the day.
Okay. Yeah. So we left off talking about the Black Brewers Association, North American Black Brewers Association. We should probably look that up. We could have looked that up on the break.
It's NB²A.
Yeah, it is. I did notice the squared part. That's cool.
National Black Brewers Association. I think that's it. Yeah.
We left off with that, and sort of germane to that, I had gotten an email from the Michale Jackson Foundation. The Michale Jackson Foundation is the Michael Jackson of beer, not he. We went to yeehaw and he. Garrett Oliver from Brooklyn Brewing Company has started a drive to use that foundation in the name of Michael Jackson, the preeminent beer writer. Some say he helped set the conditions forward to create beer styles, and wrote about them from that perspective, and popularized and brought together people. And Garrett Oliver maintains that Michael Jackson was one of the first anti-racist people that he knew. And that means going out of his way to put Garrett in situations that Garrett wasn't necessarily comfortable, but he's like, you have to be here. This is important, and you need to face down some of the people who might have preconceptions about Black people. And so he started this foundation, and it is to fund. They took a look at the demographics of our industry, specifically people making beer and owning breweries, and wanted to address that. And it is Black people, but it's also other people of color. And so there is a drive that to raise that money, and Athletic Brewing Company stepped up and said, we will match anything up to $100,000. So the opportunity to make
A bigger impact, yeah.
yeah, because the first year they did this, they only raised $50,000. So seeing that opportunity and seeing that we have a foundation and seeing that we have been able to address the one side, which is emergency funding for people who have medical or health problems in our industry. And by the way, if there are those stories out there, we need to hear about them so we can activate around them. We have an ability to provide some funds. But more importantly, we have the ability to raise awareness and bring people together to raise money specifically for that person. But in this case, we haven't really exercised the other portion because we haven't had a conference, and that is to, under the memory of George Hancock from Phoenix Ale Brewery. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I don't want everyone to mess that up. Not Phoenix Beer Co., but is in the name of education, and that was the only thing that I think he would have been comfortable with, because he was a no-nonsense guy, and he's like, no, don't name anything after me. Don't do any of this. Long story short is, I donated on behalf of the Arizona Craft Brewers Foundation $2,000, which translates to $4,000. I think it opened some doors to people nationally. I think that if you raise money, you have to have things moving all the time to the best you can. You have to spend money. You have to provide benefits to people. Otherwise, you won't raise it. And so, hopefully, we've made people aware that this is an avenue to help educate our brewers. We have a scholarship that is through NAU and Flagstaff, but we really haven't sort of broke through that wall of just cutting a check and knowing some people there. There was some turnover there. So this is going to give me, and hopefully anyone listening, the impetus to go, hey, we'd like to help with that. We also have another teaching college, Yavapai, that probably could enjoy some support as well. So the act of doing that is now to take advantage of the fact that we spent money. And as a result of all this, I was invited back to the same brewery we're at, Force Lafayette. Fate La Force. There you go. FLF. To meet some of the individuals who had in the past received the award, to talk with Garrett Oliver, to meet the people from Athletic. Natalie Cerluzzo was there. There were representatives from the writing press. There were people from, I said Athletic already, some of the Yakima Chief, Brees, Pro Brewer. And after all was said and done, they presented a check to the Michale Jackson Foundation for $208,608. Which is great. I mean,
yeah,
huge. So super happy about that. And again, I spent that money on behalf of the organization. So now we got to figure out how we're going to raise more money.
Right.
And advertise the fact that we have some funds available. So hopefully someone will reach out and say, hey, I heard this. Here's what we could do to help. Or I heard this. We could use some help.
Yeah.
And that will create the pressure to, work on it, which is wonderful.
The opportunity to get together with all those different people to make a larger change is always great to see as well.
Yeah.
And larger change is excellent, but small changes also, and small support for people in our community is also important.
It was interesting because I talked to the PR company and they were like, you guys came out of left field and this is so cool because everyone thinks, oh, the bigger companies will take care of it. And I said, well, I would have liked to have presented this to my breweries, but there was really not a lot of time to do that. But that doesn't mean we can't do it for our own selves. But we helped them tell a story that's different from what they were going to go with because we were mentioned in the presentation of the award, which, was a little touching for such a relatively small contribution. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah. So shout out to that. And as we get more information, I'm still waiting for the address to send the check off too. So
It's all theoretical at this point. Okay.
no,
You didn't have the foundation checkbook with you?
no, there's no book.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, great. That's wonderful.
And then what do we do?
Oh, well,
My ears are still ringing. By the way,
from our Hell on Wheels party?
the entire Nashville experience. Because
Yes.
you walk down some streets and you're hearing like 15 drum beats out of sync. Everyone's got their doors open, their windows open.
I mean, it was beautiful weather, so all the windows were open, all the doors are open.
Oh, it was hot. It wasn't beautiful all the time. It was a sweaty mess. And I made the joke, not everything has to be loud in Nashville. Come on, man.
Does so.
Loud.
Everything is loud.
But we gathered together with some people from Huss.
Us sponsored a gathering
Yeah.
on a military truck.
Yeah, I wish I knew what actually kind it is. I have a picture of it. Someone will tell me.
5-ton truck is what they called it. I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
And
Maybe each one of those tires weighed 5 tons. I don't know.
so the entire week there's a tractor that pulls a wagon and there's a bus. Every bus has the roof cut off. Everyone's
cutting the sides.
cranking
cut out.
Shania Twain and dancing around a pole and like there's lights and all that other stuff. Like it's just very look at me.
Yeah.
Here I am.
That's what we did.
Yeah, we did it. And it was actually kind of fun. It was more fun than I thought. And I guess it was a little more testosterone driven when we were playing AC/DC.
Yeah.
And they had a whole bunch of drinking games that we sort of participated in, but
Yeah. Thunder. Thunder.
yeah. So yeah, we did that.
That was fun.
And,
Yeah.
and actually, I got some nice shots of Broadway. You can't really get those shots if you're.
Not elevated
Yeah.
10 feet above.
The thing goes like 7 miles an hour. So it's like.
It just barely drags down the street.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And that was a party with a purpose. So part of their rental fees go to a veterans charity.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess what we're saying is
Thank us for that, not me. I showed up.
if you have a choice,
If you have a choice,
of elevated rides.
elevated party bus while you're in Nashville,
You
choose Hell on Wheels.
Incidentally, there is a guy that does this in Scottsdale, and I guess he's getting all kinds of fines, and people don't understand his business model.
I read all about that, but that's because
Sounds like he's kind of a dick, but
he makes up lies and then says this isn't fair because lie. And the people involved are like, no one ever said that. That is absolutely not true.
these are personal
then he
opinions
keeps-
that are not
then he
opinions
keeps
of the
making
Arizona Craft
noise.
Brewers Guild or its member breweries. Probably not me, not even Andrew. This is like a whole personality thing. Like, oh, you mean on air? Andrew said that.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I read all about
back
that
you
the
up
other day, and it was very odd.
It's like the algorithm is working. I'm being fed local stories about my very trivial
party bus
experience. And trivial in the world, not
to that guy.
Well, it was fun.
Or to the city of Scottsdale PD.
We did bounce, though, halfway through because we were dropped
We bounced
off. It was halfway through.
far more than halfway through.
Well, it was the...
They're just going back up the hill to the place.
I know, but 7 miles an hour, man.
Yeah, we did leave a little early.
I'm just sad that we didn't get there early enough to cruise McFrugal's, which is
Frugal McDougal.
Frugal McDougal, which is kind of a racist
The
name, right?
The
You might
liquor
as well name
store,
yourself-
Frugal McDougal.
right? I mean, the whole Scottish people are frugal is kind of a stereotype, right?
Yes.
Okay, well.
That was a parking lot that I met in. But I
wanted to see if they
have a
doubled
chance.
down on
If we had gotten there maybe 5 minutes earlier, we could have gone in and chosen some different beers.
Yeah, we drank what did we drink?
I don't know. It was IPA,
Yeah. Oh, it was the Brooklyn Session IPA that I got from
the event.
Previous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it worked.
It was all right.
It was
First off, it wasn't cold, so that was kind of difficult, but yeah.
we got dropped off at Yeehaw Brewing Company, which I'm going to let you go on a tangent with their merchandise.
Oh, their 4,000 square foot merchandise store?
Yeah.
I love it. So cool. I mean, it doesn't work in every situation, but they have got to just be cranking out dollars with that thing.
Yeah. I mean, people from our industry walking out with bags of stuff was kind of a little surprising to me.
It was something incredible.
Yeah.
They have a back area with, we already talked about this place.
Did we?
Yeah. Because we went there when we got there.
Merchandise angle is working.
They have
That's right.
But it was, when we were there, it was empty.
Yeah.
And when we got there this time, it was bursting at the seams.
Yeah. We went to see, I don't know who the sponsor of the reception was, but
Pentair.
Oh, yeah, they make pumps. They make pool pumps and they make brewery stuff, I guess, right?
Yes.
Pumps as well.
Yeah.
Huh.
Pentair was the sponsor.
Yeah.
And it was packed.
I think my filter is a Pentair pool filter.
It's excellent. Mm-hmm. They might make brewery filters too,
Yeah, I think so.
because it's all
They have
DE.
that DE technology. No, mine's some sort of other fibrous medium. Yeah, so we went there and we
Because
saw,
we knew that a bunch of our guild
Yeah.
associates were there. And the time that we get to spend with them is very limited. So it's, we want to maximize
we had a choice between that and some guy that was on a water can. I don't remember. Everyone's like, "Are you going to this guy?" I'm like, "I don't know who that is." I have heard of these guys that we saw. It was Yonder Mountain.
Yonder Mountain. Yeah.
And it was cool because we walk in and like there was just a direct path to where our people were hanging out with. You missed it, but I walked in. They were playing like Lou Reed rock and roll, like the cover of that song, which is one of my favorite songs. I'm like in the style of bluegrass, and I love cover songs when they're done well, and it was done well, and it was a good time. Is all I would say.
It was super packed.
It was.
I left and took a picture of Third Man Records again, so that I had a legit picture for our scavenger hunt. And it was relatively impossible to get a beverage in that place.
There was tons of beer on our table.
Yeah, there were a bunch of pitchers sitting there. I had no idea
was
whose
there
there were,
was
why they
three
were there,
pictures of-
what they were.
There were 3 pictures of the grapefruit IPA, and it was just not drinkable to me.
Oh,
I hate saying that.
yikes.
I don't.
Well, honesty.
To me, it was just. I don't know.
I didn't have to worry about it. I drank water.
Yeah.
I stayed hydrated, and
And we were there earlier, and we had beers that I thought were okay.
we were there previously. Yeah. And what else happened?
Well, you took a picture of Third Man Records, but we should explain. I don't think we explained that
The scavenger
we had
hunt?
we had a bingo game based on photos, and it starts with the idea that when we go to these cities, I put together a map, and unfortunately, Justin didn't Justin from Ohio usually does a Spotify playlist based on the city.
How could you do that with Nashville? I mean, like every song applies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could,
You could, yeah.
but I didn't follow up on it, so I don't know if he missed or just got too busy. So, well, there's always next time. So,
Yes. So we had a photo scavenger hunt.
yeah.
And that encourages you to go out and explore areas you might not otherwise have seen if you just followed along with the main event.
Yeah.
Maybe get off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah. It's mostly the map things that are like, there's a statue there, but I don't know the story. But now I see it on the map and I have a link to read about it. Just little interesting things. So you won.
I did, yeah.
And I did not help you win.
No, you made it harder because I already went to some of those places and had to go again.
Yeah. Yeah. You won. I think Mary won second place. I don't know. And maybe Justin won third. I have to go look in that thread. The fortunate thing is like they had to take a picture of the bingo card and then all the photos are in a Slack channel that we have. So it's not in dispute.
Right. Everything's good. Yeah, so Monday, what else happened? That was it, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, this only Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go through all the. I mean, we met with our peers several times over a series of topics.
We even had our own little secret meetings,
Yeah,
like actual sit down at a table in a room, close a door, talk about things.
yeah,
Yeah.
great. Not worth talking about on a podcast though.
No. They're not secret for any nefarious reason.
No. What else we got here?
There was an expo.
Yeah.
Walked the expo floor a little bit. Went to seminar. Went to government affairs. Went to voting members.
I went to voting members. I didn't go to government affairs. We get all that information twice a month.
Yes.
And I guess I'm glad you went because I guess at least a couple of members went. It would have been interesting to see who went so I could quiz them. I went to Camp Roke Beer.
Oh, yeah.
They had 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 20 Roke beers on tap.
Very cool.
I drank 2. I couldn't make it to a third. I was a time constraint too.
I went to a baseball game.
Yeah.
Where's the beer value? It's the Nashville Brewskis.
I thought they were Nashville Sounds.
It was the Nashville Sounds, but the next day they were the Nashville Brewskis.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did see the hat.
So I hung out with a couple of the folks and
You went with Justin and
Joseph
Was
and
Ken,
Scott.
was Ken there?
No, Ken was a no-show.
What is up with Ken?
He was a no-show to everything this week.
That was like right by where he stayed.
Well, he had that was dinner night for him and his brewery peers.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has an excuse.
They could have had a hot dog at a baseball game.
It was cool stadium. Obviously pretty new. $10 general admission.
Something like 11 to 4, a lot of runs, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
it was an exciting game. Yep.
excellent. I don't remember if you were with me. I found a place to go to after that Roke Beer thing and in Printer's Alley called Alley Taps. It was a very weird setup, but they had I've seen a band there before, and it was kind of quiet. And if you wanted more quiet, there was a couple rooms around the corner with some couches, and there was.
I ended up there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm looking at a photo. I ran into Andy Ingram and Jim Scussel, and all my photos are really super blurry. They had meetings with ABI, and they were talking about the larger ABI Bud Light situation to some degree. They just basically said it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So it's always good when they can
Confirm what we already know.
Yeah. But it was good to catch up with them. Those are years ago. I met those guys in Green Bay. This was before the sale, Might have been right after the sale. Went to a Packer Viking game.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we went out.
Small world.
We went out to some small towns, and I said, let's just eat pickled foods or any food that's behind the bar. I had my own room.
That's great news. It's great news.
It must have been terrible in the other rooms. Actually, Ingram wasn't there. Scussle was, I think. Yeah. Nevertheless, it was good to catch up with them. I got a picture of some dude. I can't remember who I sent that to. It's like, I know this dude. He's like, it was Eric Green, somebody from Dragoon. I sent him. He's like, oh, you know Eric? Okay, cool. He looks like a deer in the headlights.
You have a lot of pictures of him.
I know. Well,
All right, good enough. Oh, and then what happened after that, Rob?
apparently I went to Robert's
You did.
Western World and I
Yes.
watched the budget discussions on my little phone in the middle of Robert's because I thought we were going to close the session.
No.
It's still going on. At least I got over the mandatory part. So like,
Oh, that's the night that you beat me back to the Airbnb because I decided to go tour the Capitol.
that's right. What happened at the Capitol, Andrew?
I was there after it was closed. And so I got invited to leave. It was fine. Nothing wrong. Why would you not walk your bike across the Capitol lawn down a hill? It's fine. Doesn't draw any attention.
Yeah.
Then I went and got pizza.
That's
at the pizza place called Till 5
Why is it called till
because they're open till 5 a.m.
a.m.? Huh?
Yeah. So I got pizza and came back and ate pizza after I got your text. I beat you back to the Airbnb. Is everything okay?
Okay. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
So that's how it went.
We did. Did you want to talk about meeting with the folks from Czech Republic?
Oh, sure.
I mean, just and mention because like we're going to meet with the sister cities
Yeah.
Czech committee pretty soon.
Well, our hope is that maybe our breweries can get involved in something in Prague, our sister city. And so I reached out to the hops people that were there, and then we didn't get through the language barrier very well. Or maybe it was the fog of mind. I don't know. And then I went, and there was a manufacturer of brewery equipment from the Czech Republic. And I discussed with them, and they said, hey, the Department of Agriculture has a program for breweries from America to come over and visit the Czech Republic. So we're going to have to explore that.
Great.
Sounds like pretty cool.
We'll do some work before that, and we'll sort of seal that deal when we're in D.C. in July.
We'll seal the deal while we're in GC. We'll just go over to the Czech Republic consulate and be like, see the sign right here.
I'm just saying, like, we'll find out what we'll tell our story to the representatives and senators and say, this is what we're working on. This is who we know. Is there any, they'll give us they'll be all over it because they're all about trade. And so they'll be like, well, have you talked to this person? Did you know that this fund is available? Do you have these resources? So we'll do a little work.
Yeah.
We'll ask for some help.
Cool.
And I hopefully that'll just sort of propel our Sister Cities project into the stratosphere.
Yeah. There's a race, right?
Yeah.
There's a race.
Yeah.
5K somewhere.
I'm going to say let's take another short break because we're going to talk about the results of the World Beer Cup.
All right.
I think we just
it's
need to.
going to take a while.
I think we just need to
Yeah.
clear the decks.
Yeah. Good idea. Okay.
Yeah.
So you teased the
The World Beer
World
Cup.
Beer Cup.
Yeah.
You broke down a whole lot of stats
I did.
because that is the way of the world. The stats.
Well, initially, I had thought that this was the most successful World Beer Cup that we've ever had. And I'm going to maintain that.
Yes. Good. Because you can make the stats say anything you want.
We got 5 medals this year.
And that was great.
Yes. We had 2 golds, a silver, and a bronze. Yeah. And we had some returning breweries, and we had a couple of
2 golds, a silver, and a bronze is 4, though.
2 golds, a silver, a bronze.
2 bronze.
2 bronze.
Yeah.
There you go. We had some breweries that were first-time winners. So it's good. We had
Saddle Mountain Brewing Company repeated once again with their Clan-Destine Scottish Ale.
yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That thing has got so many medals on it right now.
I want to say off the top of my head, if you 4 or 5 from
GABF,
Yeah.
4, I think.
So I think they had 1 year they got shut out since 2018.
Yeah.
So,
Or that there were no awards because it was canceled due to the.
that could be it.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that. I think they had a series when they were just always getting the gold,
Yeah.
and that
It's great.
they've had some changeover in the brew house, and it was nice to see Anthony, the brewer that's taken over, step out of the shadow. First of all, maintain, and then step out of the shadow and won a medal with a wheat beer.
So doubled up.
Yeah,
They got the Clandestine that got a bronze this year. And the
it's the 5G. The
5G.
Taildragger 5G. Yeah,
also won a medal. But what was it?
that was the gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
Nice.
State 48 with a gold for their Baltic Porter.
Yep.
That was made in Scottsdale, and that was made by Jeff Yade, who people who in the homebrewing community might know, be familiar with. Used to work at that Rock Bottom over by What Ails You. Has been brewing there since 2010 or so. So it's good to put a face to that award. Who else? Lazy G.
G.
They won a gold with their summer ale in the previous. I guess it was only last year because now we're going every year instead of every other year. They had a gold in the previous World Beer Cup for that summer ale. This year it got a bronze.
Yeah.
And then Flying Basset for a coffee beer.
Blondes for their Alchemist breakfast
Yeah,
coffee beer.
bronze. And did I miss anybody? Because I can't count to 5 apparently. 1, 2. No, I got it. So we did not see, unfortunately, a return from Oro or Oso or some of the other people who have sort of figured in the last year or two.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like maybe having 2 competitions a year plus ours might be a lot of distraction. I don't know. Hard to repeat. Hard to figure out. Maybe they decided to do something different. I don't know.
We all have hope for the upcoming Arizona Craft Beer Awards and for the upcoming Great American Beer Festival Awards.
Yeah, it's coming up too.
Fast.
Yep. When are they collecting those? Or when are they-
July.
So that means they're soon to have the registration process going.
It is, yep. They wait till just after World Beer Cup's over. Then they'll announce all the dates.
Yep. So I that's 5. In previous years, the most we've had is 3 or 4. People said, "Hey, we did okay, but we didn't do as well as
In the past.
In the past." And you'd have to go back to 2000, the year 2000, where we won 6, or 1998, where we won 7. And there's a couple things that I sort of caveat to this is these numbers could be off a little bit simply because we don't always know when a chain brewery like Rock Bottom or BJ's
Or Alcatraz.
where they brewed the beer, because those records were handled differently in the past. And I've actually talked to a couple people like Doc when he was at BJ's, Derek Osborne. And he and Alex from BJ's sort of told the story. So I've adjusted the GABF information on our database so that's accurate, but I don't have that right now. But as we looked into it, Alcatraz won 4 medals
in 1 year.
in the second occurrence of the GABF, or World Beer Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, they had 4 or 5 locations.
Yeah, they have 5.
5, yeah.
But it doesn't say which location. It just says Alcatraz Brewing Company.
Yeah.
They all brewed,
Yeah.
so we don't know what that means.
Yeah. And I know that if you, again, as your home brewer, if you went to the Brewers Connection around that era, and I don't recall the brewer's name, someone will probably tell me, especially since there's like 5 or 6 professional brewers of that era that are still working.
Right.
Used to work at Brewers Connection, went on to brewer at Alcatraz and a couple other places. So we'll have to look into that. Maybe it's an Ed's book. I don't know. We'll have to.
Oh, good idea.
Be an addendum to. We'll talk about it next week if
Sure.
you find any new information. But nevertheless, best showing in at least 20 years.
Yeah,
So,
great.
Yeah. Super excited, especially since we've been doing better at GABF recently too. So maybe people should, who want to support this endeavor, should consider joining our judge program, especially if you work in a brewery, especially if you want to, get better at brewing. Because like I remember when I was homebrewing, like being a judge helps you understand more about beers in general, but also
It's really
be better at the competition.
It's really interesting how there can be a lot of hesitancy to judging. Like, oh, well, that's not important. Someone else can do that. I brew the beer. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
But it is so helpful to sit down and critically think about what you're tasting, especially when it's not something you made.
Yeah.
When it's something you made, there's a confirmation bias where you're going to give it extra love, but there's also the other side where you're going to hate everything about it. When you're doing a blind judging of beer that you know is not yours, you just think about it differently.
Yeah. Well, people should know that we do not allow people to judge in the categories which they've entered. So you are not going to judge your own beer, or you're not going to judge a beer that might win your category if you're in it. So that's out of the picture. And that's why, as a professional brewer, if you are entering or not, you should strongly consider if you have the availability or make the availability to, hone your own skills, both on the judging side and the brewing side, and encourage others to speak about beer in a language that you understand. Instead of, that's pretty good, I could drink 10 of those, or, I always like your beers.
Crushable.
I always like your beers, like,
Drinkable.
yeah.
That is drinkable.
Super hoppy, dude. Great.
That's drinkable.
This is so juicy. There's a language that you learn, and I don't speak it proficiently enough. Unfortunately, because I'm in helping arrange it, I no longer get to judge, probably because I get to see all the stuff before it comes in. So
Not only that, but we have jobs to do.
Yes, we do.
During the actual competition
We do.
judging, so we can't just not do those
Yeah,
and sit down at a table.
like I said, we know. I might know the judging entries just because I looked at them. I might know, like, oh, that's so-and-so's beer, because they had a number that resonated in my head. So I'm like, well, I think I know this beer. Can't do that. So
There are plenty of ash competitions that you could get involved in if you'd like to, such as this Saturday.
yeah.
Sorry, you can't this Saturday.
No, because we're doing something. We kind of tinted at it, but I'm going to go to Flagstaff on Saturday morning to, is it the 13th anniversary, 12th of Lumberyard?
All I know is that it's an anniversary party.
Yeah, and I think that that you have something to do.
Yeah, I'm doing the Overland Expo, but I do have some free time that I'm going to get up there and raise a glass.
When are you heading up to the Overland?
Friday morning,
Friday morning.
5:30 a.m.
I think your boss will let you get off early. Oh, you have to wait for Brownie, don't you? You're waiting for Bonnie to get off of work.
5:30 a.m. Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I just want to get there to not have to sit in line to check in. Jan Fredrickson is going to be there. He texted me and let me know.
We know Jan from where?
Formerly of the Beer Research Institute.
Previous to that?
Other places.
Pedal House? Yes, Pedal House.
Yes, Pedal House.
Not currently in the industry?
That's correct. Oh, also, this is Eva Rupert's event.
Yes. She organizes the ABV dinner in Flagstaff, among other events. She's super into Cafe Racer bicycles. No, Cafe Racer motorcycles. Does trips in Baja, arranges a couple of these overlands across the country, yes?
There are 4 of them.
Owns a hotel in Bisbee.
In Bisbee, right?
Somebody you should know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get her on the show because she does beer things. She does cool Arizona things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I bet she could know. I bet she knows what to do if a rattlesnake bit you.
Yes. there's so many seminars to go to. I can't even yesterday I was looking at them like I can't decide which one.
I don't know if I'm going to make it out there. Arizona Wilderness is going to.
They are the sponsoring beer. Yeah, sponsors. So that's pretty cool. I could have gotten a discount if I had waited until this week to sign up, I guess, because there is a 10% discount if you put in the Arizona Wilderness secret code that was in their newsletter. But that's a significant amount of money.
By the time you hear this, we will have ticket information
for Real Wild and Woodsy.
Woodsy, yes. So
true. Oh, I am going to go to the Lumberyard anniversary thing on Saturday as well.
Great.
In the evening.
We might even have tickets
Maybe.
for sale.
I'll go in the morning, maybe. Maybe in the afternoon. I don't know.
Haven't decided. If you hit up our individual persons, we may have a way to get tickets in your hands. I don't know how that.
For Lumberyard?
No, for Real Wild and Woodsy.
If they
What?
If they hit us up, we might be able to find them tickets.
Yeah, because I'll probably have some. You'll probably have some. We would not have to go through the online fees.
You're saying when we're in Flagstaff?
Yes.
Yes, hit us up.
Yes.
If you're going to Overland Expo, find me.
Yes.
There's only 33,000 people going.
I would find.
I'm going to wear a yellow hat. Just kidding. I don't own a yellow hat.
Well, that about clears the decks.
Great.
What's our tagline?
Today. It's not.
This is not a beer
podcast.
It's a podcast about beer.
Yes, and sometimes the beer finds you.
Today did not find us.
Today the beer did not find us. Hops
still
found us. Lots of hops.
Yeah. Well, the day's young.
Day is young. I mean, I know I have beers at my house. I'm probably gonna have one, maybe. I don't know, man.
Keep the streak alive.
All right.
All right. Now to turn off the many devices that are in our office.